You are what you consistently do. The problem for people watching this video, for you, your problem is that you know where you want to go. You know what you want to accomplish. You actually even know the habits that you need to do. You're just not doing them consistently. You get motivated, you get inspired, you get pumped up, something happens in your life that then makes you want to go and drive further, harder, faster, let's go. And then you fall off the track. You go back to the old ways, you go back to your old habits, and then you don't end up accomplishing your goals. Even though you know you're capable, you know it's possible, you know you could do it, you have done versions of it in the past, but you're not consistent on it. That's the problem. And that's what we need to shift in this video, because until you get off that loop, you're gonna keep running the same cycle over and over and over and over again, knowing that you're capable of more, knowing that you've got the potential and heart to accomplish amazing things, to serve, to make a lot of money, to be the person that you wanna be. Knowing that that's possible, but them never actually accomplishing it. We're gonna fix that in this video. So I've got a model of the 4 stages of personal development, or 4 stages of personal growth. And the first one is the haters. And the haters are the people who hate their own life. And this is most people. Most people don't actually love their own life. If you really dug down and analyzed people, you ask them about themselves and how much they love their life, most people will not love their life. Most people do not have positive self-talk when they're looking in the mirror. Most people overjudge themselves, over-criticize themselves, and know that they're not living the life that they could be living. That's most people. Most of the world hates their life. And it shows up, especially in America, in depression rates and suicide rates. Like, people are not happy. People are not happy. And as a result, they're in a lot of pain. And as a result of that, they hate on other people's ideas. If you're thinking why so many people will tear down your ideas and tell you why you can't do it, because they are in a lot of pain themselves. Because they maybe took a shot at their life, their dream life, and it didn't happen. They didn't make it. So now nobody around them can be happy either, right? This is the problem I'm trying to solve. You know, I'm trying to move people from the land of haters, because I believe people are good. You know, I believe people are good. People are good. People want to serve. You're built to serve. You want to serve. You want to help. People are at the core good, and yet a lot of people are negative because they're in a lot of pain. So that's step one, and that's probably not. If you're watching this video, if you're subscribed to this channel, that's not you. You're not the hater, but you know probably a lot of people who are haters, and you can join me on my mission to save them, to serve them, to help them, to shift them, to move them forward, to realize that their dream life is possible.
Need motivation?
Watch a top 10 with Believe Nation.
Hey, it's Evan Carmichael, and I make these videos because you are probably the most ambitious person in your circle, but you know you're capable of more, and you get that push by surrounding yourself with the best.
So today, let's learn from one of the best, my husband Evan Carmichael, and our take on his top 10 rules for success. Enjoy! Rule number 2, model success.
Whenever you don't know what to do, the best thing you can do is model success. Find the person or the people who've done the thing that you want to do, learn how they did it, apply it to your situation so you can achieve similar results and get to your goal. Otherwise, you're constantly bouncing around between idea to idea to idea to idea, constantly trial and error, trial and error, trial and error, and you might run out of time, and it might actually get too late. Where if you can model success, the biggest shortcut to success is to model. Find the people who've done it, understand how they did it, apply it to your life. This is the thing that changed my life. I quit on my business partner. I was 19 years old, maybe 20 at that point. I quit on my business partner. I was just tired of things not working. I was tired of the business being so slow and sluggish and not getting results and making no money. I was tired of it. Everything before that I applied myself to, I got a result. And here I was trying every day, showing up to the same place, showing up to my business partner's living room every day, working from his dining room table every day, and just not getting results. And I was tired of it, so I quit. And then I woke up the next day and realized I don't want to quit. I can't quit yet. I can't quit. I'm going to regret this, but I can't keep doing it the way I'm doing it. And so the genius moment out of pure desperation was, somebody has done this before. I asked myself, who has done this before? Who has built a software company before? Who's done it? I'm trying to solve this problem. I don't feel like I'm an idiot, although I kind of feel like an idiot right now because I'm trying so many things. I know I'm not stupid. Somebody's done this before. It can't be this hard. Who's done this? And that's where I thought of Bill Gates, who started Microsoft, and he's just one of many. Could have been anybody in software. He was just the only person I could think of at the time. And I learned his story and found out how he did it and applied those strategies. Through him was through partnerships. So I thought, okay, let me get some partnerships. And I got my first deal, I've said, for $13,500 a little while after. And that changed everything for me. That changed the business, that made me stay in it, that gave me hope, that made me feel not worthless, that made me feel like things were possible, that gave me growth in the company. And it also gave me a strategy for the rest of my life, and that whenever I don't know what to do, the best thing to do is to model success.
Rule number 3, take action.
The biggest problem with wannabes is you're watching a video or you're going to an event and you think that that's the work. That's not the work. That doesn't matter until you actually do something. Watching this video doesn't mean anything unless you actually take action on it, right? Nothing changes in your life until you actually take action on it. Watching this video, going to somebody's event, listening to somebody's podcast might get you inspired, right? Might get you thinking about what's possible, about where you could go, but it doesn't actually lead to you doing anything until you do something. So that's why I always push in every video, I need you to take action. I need you to take action. You got to do something.
Rule number 4, be mission driven.
As entrepreneurs, we're mission driven, right? You want to solve a big problem. You want to make a huge change in the world. So remind yourself of what the mission is and how grateful you are to be on this path. Even if you're not where you want to be yet, you're not doing what you want to do fully yet, but you never are there. You never, when you hit that goal, you want a bigger goal, and I think that's great. So you're on your journey, and you're much more fulfilled on that journey than you used to be, compared to who you used to be. Compare your life to where you were 5 years ago or 10 years ago. The awareness, the education that you've gone through, the purpose, the heart that you've now discovered and tapped into on a deeper level. For me, I'd be thinking about helping entrepreneurs. I get to every day wake up and help entrepreneurs. I get to make videos, I get to make content, I get to influence people, I get to try to help 18-year-old Evans out there who's struggling with their first business, right? For you, what's your big mission? And how can you tap into it and feel it? And it may not have to take too long to do it, but just close your eyes and actually feel that you touch somebody's life. Again, it may not be the scale that you want. It's never the scale that you want. But you touch somebody's life. If one person left a comment on your video, if one person left a thumbs up on your post, you touched one person's life. Tap into what that feels like, that you had a meaningful impact on them today.
Also, if you want to have more self-confidence and self-belief, I've designed a special free training to help you do it. The science says it can take up to 254 days of consecutive action to build a new habit. And I want that for you. I want you to build the habit of self-belief. So what I'm going to do is email you every day for 254 days a link to an unlisted video that will shift your belief forward. To get on it for free, the link to join is in the description below.
If you're doing work that you love, you're more likely to follow through. You're more likely to do it because it doesn't feel like work, because you love doing it.
Don't worry what the first step is. People write in and say, what's my first? It doesn't matter. Something. Do something, and then do something again tomorrow, and do something again the next day, and every day you get a little bit better. They're great because they can help you, one, navigate the waters of dealing with publishers and creating a proposal that's really going to win, because you might only get one shot with a publisher, especially as a new author. And if your proposal sucks, they likely won't want to look at it again unless you've done something dramatic on your audience size to really build up notoriety around yourself.
Rule number 5, inject positivity daily.
I would have been the guy who 10 years ago would have thought that's not possible for me. I'm this introverted, shy kid who just is not a type A personality and doesn't like networking and will never meet these people. So, step 1, consume their content. Even if you never meet these people, just having them around you daily allows you to start to shift and start to think like them. Allows you to start to adopt their mindset because they're saying things that are different than the people in your life. John Asraf is saying something different than your parents, right? He's thinking a different way than your friends. He's thinking on a higher level than a lot of the people probably in your life right now. And so the more that you're around that virtually by watching videos, even if you never meet him, the more you start to think bigger, to have more ambition, to believe that it's possible. So part of your daily routine must be to consume the content of the people who inspire you to want to be bigger. That's why I make this Espresso video. That's why I make all of my content on all of my channels. But if it's not my videos, if it's books, if it's podcasts, something, it's got to be daily though. Just like you brush your teeth daily, you need to inject positivity and belief daily from people who are doing more than you, right? Your brushing your teeth helps you with your dental hygiene. We need to work on our mental hygiene. It's really, really important because the mental hygiene will take care of itself in a negative way based off your current environment. If you are just constantly battling negativity around you or small-mindedness around you, and there's nothing that comes into your life that feeds you with hope and positivity and inspiration and the sense that you could do more. If there's nothing in that in your life right now, then you won't go off and do it. And so step 1 is to just be around the content every single day, in micro doses every single day. My new routine right now is I go for a walk in the morning, and it's about 40 to 45 minutes in the morning, and I watch my own videos. I watch my top 10 videos while I go for the walk. So this morning I was watching Lewis Howe's video and a Gary Vee video that I made for my channel. And every time I do it, I pick up something new. It's a fantastic way to start my day. If you could start your day every day with Gary Vee or Lewis Howe's or John Asraf or Oprah or Elon Musk or whoever, your life will change. It's why I do these Espresso videos. I want to give you the shot of Espresso every morning. Your life will change if you start your day every day with the people who inspire you. They will pull you up, and you don't notice it on a day-to-day basis. But if you look back a week, a month, 3 months, 6 months, a year, if you did it every day for a year, holy cow, you will be a totally different person.
Rule number 6, change your environment.
There is always a way. 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 When you feel stuck, when you feel hopeless, when you feel like the world is against you and you've got big, ambitious goals, remind yourself there is always a way. There is always a way. Entrepreneurship is always about how resourceful you are instead of the lack of resources. This is where people get caught up. You wish you had more money, you wish you had a different education, you wish you had different parents, you wish you lived in a different country. You're so focused on the things that are not going right in your life instead of focusing on what can I do with what I do have. There is always a way. Wife has to go shopping on filming day? Great, I'll film in the car with Timo. Hi Timo, high five. Woo. Good boy. He's so cute. Business shuts down. My dance studio closes down because of COVID. Great, move online. Like, there's always a way. I was telling my friend Mark about how I got the Honest Company for my book, Your One Word. So, I don't know, 3, 4, 5 years ago? I don't know how long ago. How long ago? When did Your One come out? Doesn't matter. I wanted to get the Honest Company because they built their business around their one word, honesty. And they were, $100 million plus company, wanted to interview them. There was only one big problem. I didn't know them. I had no connection in. And I wrote in and I didn't hear back. And I really, really wanted the company. So there's always a way. Remind yourself, there's always a way. So what I did was I wrote to TechCrunch. And TechCrunch at the time was the biggest blog / website / news site for the tech industry. And I said, hey, I messaged the the managing editor, who I did not know either, right? Just cold out of the blue, said, hey, I'm writing a book and I'd love to do an interview with The Honest Company. And if I did an interview with The Honest Company, would you publish it? And we're going to talk about these topics. And he said, yes. We just interviewed the managing editor out of the blue, and he said, yes. Great. Now I can go back to The Honest Company and say, hey, I want to do an interview with you for my book and for TechCrunch. And that got me in the door, right? And that led to me doing the interview and flying to California and meeting Christopher Gavigan, who's an amazing human, and doing the interview and getting my book done. And so I didn't know The Honest Company. I didn't know TechCrunch. I had no connections in. But you remind yourself, there's always a way. And that's how you do it. You find a way. What can you do with what you do have right now? How can you be a resource? How can you be an asset? How can you help the people around you so that you can move closer to accomplishing your goals as well? So how do you do it? You know, it's easy to say, great, Evan, you don't understand me. I'm stuck in the situation right now. How do I get out of it? Everybody's against me. I tried everything. And it's not working. How do I get out of it? It's a couple things you need to do. Number one, if you are stuck kind of in the middle of it, if you are stuck feeling overwhelmed, feeling it's not possible, feeling just you've tried everything and you're gonna give up, step number one is you have to take a break from where you are right now. Go outside, go for a walk, breathe, meditate. Because when you're in the lowest of the low, me saying be more resourceful, there's always a way, you can't actually hear it. You're not ready for the message yet because you're too low. This is why a lot of us, when we're trying to help other people, the people around us, and telling them, you're gonna make it, you can be great, they can't hear it because they're too low. So you have to get them back to normal state. You have to get yourself back to a normal state. So that comes from getting outside your environment right now. Go for a walk, get some fresh air, do some breathing, meditate, pray, like whatever you need to do to get back to a normal state. So you're not a depressed human, but you can actually be open and receptive to a message.
Rule number 7, be an overachiever.
I'm here making videos for you because that's part of my routine. You know, I'm recording this on a Tuesday. Every Tuesday I make videos. 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 I've made videos feeling sick. I've made videos with no voice and I held up signs. I made videos with a concussion and a broken neck. I make videos. That's the difference between an achiever and a high achiever, is that you show up when everybody else would give you a break, when everybody else would say, take it easy, when everybody else would say, you're pushing too hard, when everybody else says, you're too obsessed. You say, no, I'm committed to my goals. I'm committed to making this happen because you are what you consistently do. We tend to try to overcorrect things. If you have a goal of eating a certain number of calories or sticking to a certain weight, and you go and you binge one day, we tend to try to overcorrect to say, that's it, I'm going on a 24-hour fast. You know, I'm just not gonna eat anything for 24 hours. Or if your business, you let yourself down, you don't deliver, you don't promise, you don't follow through on the promises. You say you're gonna make videos for YouTube, but then you don't do it. And then the next day you wake up and say, I'm done with that, I'm gonna make 80 videos today, or whatever the number would be. We tend to try to do too much in the short run. And that's not where the gains are made, right? You could go to the gym and have an amazing session, but if you're not consistently showing up to the gym, you're not gonna get the results that you want. Same thing for the gym of life, the gym of business, the gym of your mindset. It's what you do consistently every single day. And that can sometimes be boring. And that can sometimes be that you're chasing the wrong thing, you're doing somebody else's routine instead of your own. But if you want to be a high achiever, if you want to show up for yourself, for your family, for the people around you, for your customers, for the people who know you can serve, you want to show up as your best self every day for them, the key is that you stick to your habits.
Rule number 8, be of value.
Try to be a person of value. Being a person of value means, what does this person care about? And how can you help support it? So if you're trying to be a person of value to me, what do I care about right now? You know, the easiest thing to do is look at my Instagram bio, look at my Twitter bio, look at the things that I'm promoting right now. Right now, right now I'm talking about Built to Serve a lot. It's still something I care deeply about. Right now I'm talking about movement makers. I'm talking about Brandlytics. These are the programs that I'm launching that I care a lot about. So how can you help me with that? What is John Asraf launching? Go look at his Instagram bio, his Twitter bio. What is he promoting right now? That's what he cares about right now. To be a person of value, you want to be the person's chief goal officer. What do they need right now? What are they promoting right now? What are their goals right now? And then finding some way to help them. Even if it's just being the best person in the comments, right? I have an amazing community. You guys are amazing. It's what makes me want to keep making content because of how fantastic you guys are. And there are some people who watch the videos and then never leave any comment. Leave comments, guys. There are some people who watch a video and leave a comment. And then there are the special few who watch a video, leave a comment, but then will also comment on the other comments. Not in a promotional way, not just saying, hey, check out my new channel. I've worked really hard on it. Let me know, sub for sub. But in a encouraging, positive, optimistic way, in just trying to cheer the other people on and supporting them. Those people are extra special. And there are some people who I would do the best that I could to try to support them. I get hit up every day with different promotional opportunities. Hey, Evan, can you link this up? Can you shout me out? Can you check out my business plan? And it's usually a no because I don't even know who you are. But there are other people who have brought so much value to my community that I would do my very best to try to help them because of how much they've helped me, even though they may not have ever bought anything that I've done, just because they were so valuable in the community, right? So that's your goal. Your goal is to be a person of value, to be the chief goal officer, and then be a person of value to them and their community so they start to recognize you.
Rule number 9, be the change.
If you don't like something in your life, you can change it. This is why we become entrepreneurs, because we don't like something that's going on in our lives, in the world, the people around us. We don't like the way something is done, and we're committed to change it. That's why entrepreneurs are going to solve all the world's major problems. We're not waiting on government. We're not waiting on big corporations. It's us. We're going to solve the problems. You are going to solve the problems. If you don't like something, when most of the world is stuck in complaining and blaming and mediocrity and unhappiness and excuses and I'm too old and I'm too young and I don't have the resources and blah, 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 while most of the world is stuck in that, you're off saying, I'm going to make a change. I'm going to make that happen. And it's just the mindset shift that you have to make and keep and sustain on a daily basis, because it's so easy to fall back down into limited thinking, into fixed mindset, into mediocrity, to feel like, oh, I can't do this. Maybe it can't happen. Maybe it's not for me. Maybe I'm not the person. Maybe I'm not good enough. Maybe I don't belong. Maybe it works for other people, but not for me, right? It's so easy to go back to that zone. But if you don't like something in your life or your community or the world, you can change it. Be the change you want to see in the world. That's you. You can make that happen.
And rule number 10, the last one before our special bonus clips, is build a team.
Where do we learn to be great managers? You don't learn it in school. You'll probably not be a great manager at the beginning. So I think the best way to get going is to actually hire somebody part-time. The first person I hired was for 1 hour a day. 1 hour a day. I hired them for 1 hour a day. One, they were better at the thing. It was doing database stuff than I was. So it freed up an hour and a half of my time every day because he was better at it than I was. He could do it faster. And two, it also got me used to managing somebody on a small scale before being fully responsible for them, before I was their entire income and had to learn how to be a good boss, a good leader, a good manager, good mentor, good coach. I could play on a smaller scale and develop the skills. And so I think people wait too long because they feel like they have to have a giant budget. You could hire somebody for 1 hour a day. Instead of buying Starbucks, I don't know how much this cost, $5, $4, whatever, right? Instead of buying Starbucks every day, you get 2 coffees, that's $8 to $10. You hire somebody for 10 bucks an hour to do that thing for you. 1 hour a day. That frees up your time to go do other things. So I want you to start being more resourceful, to try to find other ways through instead of thinking, I'm by myself, I'm all alone, I can't do it. There's a famous expression that goes, if you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together. You have to build a team. Your mission is too big. Your purpose is too big. To make your dream happen, you have to focus in on your Michael Jordan level ability and to spend more time doing it. To stop spending time on the things that don't produce value and that you don't have a lot of interest in. And to start thinking about how can the people around me support me better? And if they're not going to support me, how do I find people who will? Because your purpose is too important.
Now I've got some special bonus clips that I think you're going to enjoy. But before that, it's time for the question of the day. I want to know, what was your single biggest takeaway from this video and your plan of action for the next week? When you just watch a video and you get motivated, the science says you have a 35% chance of actually following through. That's not good enough, Believe Nation. We need to take some action. But when you watch a video, you get motivated and you create a specific plan of action, that number jumps from 35% to 91% chance of you following through. And when you publicly commit to other people, like leaving a comment down in this video, your number jumps to 95% chance of you actually following through on the plan you set for yourself. So I want to know your single biggest takeaway from this video and your plan of action for the next week. Leave it down in the comments below so I can celebrate you.
I've tried everything. You haven't even come close to trying everything. How many things have you tried? 20? There's a million things you can do. You have not even come close. And don't use that as a beat yourself down. That's a push forward to say, there's a million more ideas inside me. There's a million more ideas inside me that I can use to accomplish this goal. There is always a way. Remind yourself, make it your mantra, put it on a t-shirt. There is always a way, and you are going to find it.
Your chances of success go up in direct proportion to your ability to, 1, pick the right things to work on, and then 2, focus on executing those things. It's so easy as an entrepreneur to get distracted. We love shiny objects, right? We love dreaming up new ideas and chasing these different projects. But if you look at a typical entrepreneur, you'll see that so many of their projects start and stop and start and stop, and you take something 10% through or 50% through or sometimes even like 80% through. But unless you're willing to take it to 100, you're not going to get the results. You're not going to get the fruit of your labor because you're just planting a whole bunch of seeds constantly, but you're never taking care of that seed. You're never watering it, right? If you want to grow a plant, you got to plant the seed, you got to care for the soil, you got to add nutrients, you got to water it daily, it's got to have enough sunshine. You got to look after that seed. Where most entrepreneurs, they don't. They're starting and stopping, starting and stopping, starting and stopping, and you never actually get to where you want to go. People talk about diversification. You need to diversify, you need to diversify. And while that's really great as an investment strategy, if you don't know what you're investing into, it's good to have a big portfolio of different things so that if one thing doesn't do well, something else is doing well. But it really sucks as business advice. Because if you're trying to do 10 different things at once, they're all going to be mediocre. They're all going to be below average because you're going up against people who are doing that full time and have their focus on it. And so it's much better as an entrepreneur to, 1, pick the things that you want to focus on, right? And then 2, actually focus on it. Do that work. Andrew Carnegie was once the richest person in the world, and he had a great quote saying how he likes to put all of his eggs in one basket, and then you watch that basket carefully, right? It's only a major risk if you're not watching the basket. If you take your eye off the ball, you start looking elsewhere, and then something happens to your industry, right? And so being the expert, being the best at what you do will always yield more results, more value, more money to you than being okay at 20 different things. Be the best at one thing. Focus.
If you have to get motivated every single day, then you are in the wrong business. If you are in your business because you thought it was a hot opportunity or a path to make some quick money, get out immediately. Shut it all down. You can't sustain motivation for that business. Don't start a podcast if you don't love talking or interviewing with people. Don't become an influencer if you have nothing to say. Don't start a daycare if you don't love kids. It's not worth it and you're never going to win. The work itself needs to be motivating. Most days you're going to wake up and have a pile of crap to deal with. And if you don't love dealing with that crap, you will get crushed by someone who does enjoy dealing with that crap. The trick is you need to do work that you love that other people think is crap. That's the secret. So looking at my channel as an example, this YouTube channel has grown from 7,000 followers, subscribers to 1.7 million in a matter of 4.5 years. And I love the climb, and I love passing people on the way, and I love the competitive spirit of it. And I know there's still so much room to grow, but sometimes I secretly hope that the whole thing goes away. So just so that I could start and do it again. I'm just short of sabotaging myself, although I have taken some risks recently. If you look at my channel last month or 2 months ago, I did some major changes that did not work. I bet everything on going down the premier direction just because I wanted to have some variety, just because I wanted to take a big bet, and it tanked hard, and it was my worst subscriber gain in years, and I love it. I love it. I mean, I don't love that I lost, but I love pushing. I love trying to get better. I love climbing. I love trying to find a new way to be able to go and build and get better. And I think you have to love the climb. I'm just short of massively sabotaging myself and closing down the whole thing just to start over, but I love the climb that much. It's why I love Instagram. I'm going hardcore on Instagram right now. Halfway through the year, I had 6 or 7 or 8, something like that, 1,000 followers. And now I'm at almost 80,000 followers by still posting 6 times a day, and by going live 5 times a week, and by making 3 to 8 to 20 stories a day, and doing IGTV and all that stuff. I love the climb. I love it. I love when people look at my YouTube channel and say you have 1.7 million subscribers, but you only have 6,000 followers on Instagram. Like, what are you doing? You're a joke. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love looking at everybody who's ahead and having the ladder to climb up again. I love it. All the people who I pass on YouTube are all crushing me on Instagram, and I love it so much. And it's not doing it only to beat somebody else. It's just a competition. I like the competition. I like figuring things out. I like the hustle and the grind to try to win. I don't like being number one. I like chasing down number one. Chart your start. What you do in the first 15 minutes of your day matters. Chart your start. Have a plan of action. Most people wake up like an accident. Most people wake up, they're tired, you pull out your phone, you start looking at your email, and what are you doing when you're looking at your email or looking at social media? You're responding to other people's emergencies. Like, you wake up, you're tired, and the first thing you do is you start responding to other people's emergencies. I want you to control the first part of your day. Chart your start. Understand what it is that makes you come alive. Understand what is the action that helps you feel bold, creative, unstoppable. We've all had it. You've all had moments where you have felt bold, courageous, and unstoppable. What led to that? Reverse engineer yourself. What led to you feeling bold? Is it watching a video? Is it reading a book? Is it having a conversation? Is it doing a meditation? Is it taking your dog out for a walk? Is it cutting the grass? Like, I don't care. There's no judgment. I don't care what the thing is that makes you feel bold and courageous and unstoppable. I just want you to do it daily. I want you to start your day with intention. Most people don't start their day with intention, and that makes a difference between the people who achieve success and the ones who don't. And so chart your start. Figure out the thing that makes you come alive, that makes you feel like that big crazy idea of yours is actually possible, and put that into the first 15 minutes of every day. If you did the thing that made you feel bold, courageous, and unstoppable in the first 15 minutes of waking up every single day, not every day will be amazing, but I guarantee you that your life will look unrecognizable from where you are right now. Chart your start. Willpower comes from setting goals and keeping those commitments to yourself. When you set a goal and you complete it, you build more willpower. You are teaching yourself, you're training yourself that you are the kind of person who sets goals and sees them through and finishes them, which gives you greater willpower to go off and take on bigger and bigger and bigger goals. But when you set a goal for yourself and you don't follow through, you don't complete it, you're teaching yourself, you're wiring your brain that you are the kind of person who doesn't have a lot of willpower. You're training yourself that you are the kind of person who does not follow through, who quits when it gets tough. So that's why it's so important that you are very careful about the goals that you set for yourself, because once you set a goal, you have to finish it. You have to follow through, because that will change your perspective of yourself. If you finish it and you do it, willpower grows. If you don't finish it and you quit, willpower drops. So here's a quick example from my life. I was driving to Boston. I drove there with my wife, with my film team. We decided we'd go for the weekend. And it was a long drive to get to Boston. How long was it, Nina? 8 hours, 10 hours? How long was the drive? Something like that, 8 hours. It was late. We got in super late. We got in at what, 2 in the morning? 1 in the morning? Something crazy. After an entire day of me driving. I'm not sleeping in the car, I'm driving. I'm doing the whole leg myself, driving the team. I arrived super late. Everybody's going to bed. And I had set a goal for myself that I was gonna run for 30 minutes a day. I was gonna run for 30 minutes every day. That was my goal. That was my commitment to myself. Now, we get there, it's late, everybody's going to sleep. It would have been very easy for me to go to sleep. It would have been very easy for me to let myself off the hook and say, it's okay, it's late, you know, I'll do it tomorrow, I'll do double tomorrow, it's late, it's no problem. It's very easy for the people around me to say, don't worry about it, Evan, like it's late, you could do it tomorrow. Everybody will let you off the hook. When everybody else will let you off the hook and you want to let yourself off the hook, that moment, exactly, precisely, is where you develop or lose your willpower. Because when it's easy, when your calendar is perfect, when there's no interruptions, when you have all the time in the world to do something, then you do it. It's easy. It doesn't build your willpower. You don't feel great about yourself. If you win a race against 3-year-olds, you don't feel great. You're not cheering that victory. But when it's hard, when you don't think you can do it, when everybody's saying don't worry about it, when you feel like you're at your wit's end, when there's every excuse and every reason in the world why you shouldn't do it, and then you still do it, that's when you build willpower. It's when it's difficult and you do it that you build willpower. And so I did my run at 1 in the morning or whatever time it was. And it was a brutal run. It was not my best run. I did not burn a lot of calories. It was not my peak. I'm tired. I'm gassed. I'm doing my run. And even though I didn't get a fantastic physical benefit from it, and even though the next day I woke up and was more tired compared to the people on my team because I slept less, I'm giving myself pats on the back. I'm giving myself high fives like crazy. I've just built my willpower. I've just built my credibility with myself. I've just built my respect and confidence internally because I did the thing that I promised that I would do when it got hard. That's the difference. That's how you build willpower.
And if I had to give advice to somebody to have success in any field, not just entrepreneurship, in any field, you look at the people who have the most success in any field, they enjoy the process. And too many people are attached just to the outcome. If you want to make a blockbuster hit, if you want to make a successful movie, you have to enjoy the process of making movies. As an entrepreneur, if you want to have a successful product, you want to have a great service that's making a lot of money, you want to have a huge business, whatever you define as huge or successful, then you need to enjoy the process of the work that you're doing on a day-to-day basis. And not everything is going to be amazing. You're going to have down days, but net, you have to enjoy what you're doing. You have to wake up and look forward to the day that is ahead. And too many entrepreneurs are spending 80 to 90% of their time doing stuff that they're not good at, that they don't want to be good at, that they hate because they feel they need to do it to grow their business. And only 10 to 20% of their time on the stuff that they can be genius level at. And you will not have success in any endeavor if you're only spending 10 to 20% of your time or less on the stuff that you have the potential to be the best in the world at and that you enjoy. If your goal is just to make a lot of money and you'll do whatever it takes just to make that amount of money, you'll never get there because you don't enjoy the work. Where the secret to success is enjoying the day-to-day grind because it doesn't feel like a grind, it feels enjoyable. I think it's really important for entrepreneurs to understand where your threshold is of how much crap you could take from other people, how much negativity, how much feedback and criticism that you could take without it impacting your psyche or your self-worth. I think in general as an entrepreneur, you need to be prepared to get a lot of crap, a lot of negativity, a lot of stuff thrown at you. And yes, it's easy to say, don't care what other people think, but understanding what your tolerance level is and where you kind of fit on that spectrum can really help you design the rules so that they're in your favor. So as an example, there's a guy on my team who doesn't handle criticism as well. You know, I'm a lot more comfortable in the uncomfortable where he can bounce around a lot more. He'll be on top of the world, like this is great, and then a negative feedback comes in and it really impacts him hardly, and then the positive one comes in and he jumps back up. And so for someone like him, you can't design as much risk, as much negativity or potential negativity, so you gotta take a safe path up. Where for me, I'm more comfortable in the uncomfortable. I know that eventually something's gonna work out, and I know that at the beginning of any project it's gonna be rough, that it may not work out, that we're gonna get some criticism. And so I'm more willing to jump all in and play in that field, even though it's painful at the moment, because I know the faster I get through that pain, the faster we're gonna come out the other side. I want that feedback and criticism and negativity as soon as possible so that I can make it better. Better for you, better for me, better for everybody. And so understanding what your tolerance level is of emotional stability, how much you can take from your friends and your family and your customers and your audience and the people watching you before you break, and then being able to play just below that limit. Because you can't just play super safe, because that's not gonna make you happy as an entrepreneur. But knowing where your limit is and playing just below it, so that it's uncomfortable, it's painful, but you're still gonna be able to get through it.
You already know what you want to do. You're letting the opinions of other people get in the way of you taking action. People are not afraid of failing. They're afraid of failing in front of other people. You will sing all day in the shower, but you won't get on the street corner and sing because you're embarrassed of the judgment. And what you need to do is inoculate yourself against the judgment and learn to take action on your ideas, because the alternative is a life filled with regret. You have to decide at what point are you going to take ownership for where you are in life. Like, at what point do you decide my goals, my ideas, my dreams, my ambitions are important enough to me that I'm willing to risk failure, I'm willing to risk embarrassment, I'm willing to risk having to go tell my friends that it didn't work out, because this is my path. Because otherwise I never get to do the thing that I want to do. At what point are you going to decide to step up and say, I need to do this for me. I need to know. It may not work out. I may be embarrassed, but I need to know. I don't want the rest of my life to sit around wondering, what if, what if, what if?
People put too much faith in the tools. It's not about the tools. It's not about the tools that you're using. It's not about the suit that you're wearing. It's not about the car that you're driving. It's about you. At the end of the day, it comes down to you. I was asked to do a roundup of different entrepreneurs of what your favorite tool was to help you build your business. And they asked me and they asked 30 other people, what is the tool that you love most that helps drive your business forward? And I was the only one who didn't want to give a tool. Everybody listed their tools, and I was at the end of the day, I was posted at the very bottom, the tools don't matter. Stop blaming the tools. And tools are important, don't get me wrong. I love using tools. I think YouTube's a great tool. I think cameras are a great tool. I use tools every single day in my business to help spread my message and help my company grow. But it's not the reliance on the tools. This is where I think a lot of people fall down. I had an entrepreneur friend of mine come to me and says, what tools do you use for your calendar? How do you keep track of your to-dos? Because she had tried using a notebook and using Evernote and using OneNote and using all sorts of different tools, using her phone, everything. And nothing was working. It's like, you know what? The problem is not the tools. The problem is you, right? The tools can help you go faster, but if you don't have the mindset, if you don't have the ambition, if you don't have the drive, if you're not putting in the work, then the tools will never save you. And I think people have an over-reliance on the tools, and that's my biggest problem with it. The tools can help you do that last 20%, but it's 80% you. It's 80% the hustle and the hard work to get really good at the thing, and the tool can help you go further. I see tools as like pouring gasoline on a fire. You need to have a spark. You need to have a fire to get something going, and then the tool, the gasoline, can help it explode. But if you just pour gasoline on wood, nothing's gonna happen. I think the same thing about suits and cars. I think a lot of people think you wear a suit, now you're gonna be successful. A suit doesn't mean anything. Clothing is an expression of self, not a place where you get your self-worth. Somebody with no suit on could go in and close a sale because they are who they are. They are confident that they can close that sale, where somebody who's only deriving confidence from their suit will never win. If you want to succeed as an entrepreneur, you need to work both hard and smart. You need both. Everybody who's had massive success did both. Forget about trying to work a 4-hour work week. Forget about passive income. Yes, you can make a little bit. Yes, it might be supplemental income to help you along your journey. But if you want to do something impactful, you want to have a big change in the world, you want to really be somebody special and have a ripple effect out from you, you got to do both. You got to work really hard. look at whoever your heroes are. Whoever it is that you look up to. They didn't get there by having things handed to them. And they didn't get there by trying to create passive income or work 4 hours a week. And I love the 4 Hour Work Week book. There's a lot of principles you can use in there, except the fact that when you are committed to something and you love it, you gotta go all in on it. Stop being lazy. Lazy people don't change the world. Lazy people don't have a huge impact. I want you to have a huge impact. And so hard work is just your ticket in. Hard work alone is not the answer. There's lots of people who work really hard and they never rise up, they never reach their potential, right? You can work really, really, really hard as a cashier, but if you're not thinking on a bigger scale and you're not working smart as well, then you'll just continue to work really, really hard as a cashier and make whatever a cashier makes, and that's where you stay. Hard work does not guarantee your success, but there is no success without hard work. Period. It doesn't exist. Show me somebody who you really look up to and really respect, who hasn't put in a ton of effort, hard work, and smart work to make it happen. And so I think if you are just looking for shortcuts, if you're just looking for ways to make that passive income or ways to work 4 hours a week and then spend the rest of the time lying on the beach, you're being lazy. And you haven't really tapped into the thing that you love doing. Because I can tell you, you get tired of lying on the beach. You may not agree because your life sucks right now, because your work sucks right now, because you're just trying to escape. But people want to do things that have meaning. After you've escaped your life and you spent a year on the beach, you're gonna get tired, you're gonna get bored. You're gonna want to do something that fills you up. We want to contribute. Human beings want to contribute. We want to feel like the work that we're doing matters, and we like to work. We like to feel like the activities that we're filling up our day with mean something to somebody else. So you've got to find that. And when you do, you don't want to just work 4 hours a week. It fills you up. You want to do it a lot. It doesn't mean you're spending 24 hours a day doing it. You got to find the balance for you. But when you find the work that you love, you want to go all in on it. You want to keep going because it fills up your soul. So you've got to work hard and you've got to work smart. It's the only way to succeed as an entrepreneur. When I was 20 years old, I missed my shot because I was scared and I vowed never to do it again. I was in Paris, I was on vacation, I was in university, and I'm sitting here with my map outside your Notre Dame Cathedral in Paris, and a girl comes up and asks me for directions. But she was a French girl. And it didn't twig until later that why would a French girl be asking me for directions in English? Didn't really make sense, right? And then I thought, you know what? I should ask her out. I should see what she's doing tonight. I should take her to, ask her out for coffee or dinner or something, see what she's up to. But I was afraid. I was afraid to do it. I was afraid to do it, and I let her walk away because really I was afraid of rejection. And as she's walking away, the Notre Dame is on a river, and I'm on one side of the river, and she crosses over to the other side of the river. And I was so upset at myself. I was so upset that I didn't take my shot. I was so upset that I didn't try. At least try. And what I did was I ended up taking a picture. And as I took the picture, she actually walked behind one of the market stalls, and I didn't actually get her picture. It's fine. So I had this beautiful picture of this French, riverside. And what I did when I got home, I was still upset about it. So I blew the picture up and I put it on my wall. And I was actually trying to find the picture to show you guys, but I couldn't find it anywhere in my files. I blew it up though, and I put it on my wall. So I'm at university, I blow it up and put it on my wall. Everybody who walks in asks me about the picture. And it just looks like a nice, beautiful French scene. But I didn't tell anybody what it really represented to me, why it was really so important. And I looked at that picture every day because the next time that I had to take my shot, I wanted to go out and do it. I didn't want to be afraid. I wanted to conquer my fear and say yes. And this served me really well a year or so later when I had to make the really tough decision, do I take this job that I always wanted? I had these high-paying job opportunities, $80,000 to $100,000 starting salary with the companies that I really wanted to go at, or continue with my startup that was failing, that was making $300 a month. The logical, practical, safe, easy thing to do would have been to take the job. It's what I thought I always wanted. It's what my friends wanted. It's what you're supposed to do coming out of university. I didn't want to live with the regret of not knowing what happened with my business. And looking at that picture daily reminded me to take my shot the next time it comes around. And so I gave myself a year to say, I'm gonna push off those jobs. they'll still be there in a year. Even if it's not those jobs, it's some other job. I'm gonna give this a shot. I can deal with the failure. I can deal with the rejection. I can deal with it not working out. Even though that's a really kind of short-term, intense pain, what I can't deal with is the regret of not knowing. Because that's not some short-term minimal pain, that's forever. If I chose not to focus on my business and I took that job, I would forever look back on that moment and think, what if? What if I just tried a little bit harder? What if I gave it a little bit more? Yeah, but it wasn't working, I wasn't getting results, but what if I gave it a little bit more? I did not want to live with that regret. And I'm sure you've had moments in your life too when you didn't take the shot. When you had an opportunity right in front of you and you didn't go for it. Like Eminem says, if you had one shot, one opportunity to seize everything you ever wanted, would you take it? And that picture on the wall helped me take my shot. And I hope sincerely that the next time you get your chance at something, that you don't shrink down, that you don't say no out of fear, that you don't say no because you find some practical reason why you can't do it, that you take your shot. And if you've had those moments that you regret, where you wanted to take your shot and you didn't, give yourself a visual reminder like I did in my room to say, this is not happening again. Next time, I'm gonna take my shot. I hope you take yours. Rejection is part of life as an entrepreneur. You are gonna get rejected over and over and over and over again. It's just part of being an entrepreneur and being in business. The first thing you put out won't be very good. People will hate on it. People will give some constructive criticism as well. People will say no because they don't know you, trust you, like you, and so you won't get those first deals. It takes a lot of time to build up a business and make it successful. And even when you've gotten to that point where you're feeling happy and you're bringing on a team and building the business, you're still gonna get rejected constantly. It's just part of life as an entrepreneur. And so if you can't handle that, it's gonna be a really hard road for you to be an entrepreneur. I think the way to get through rejection, there's two ways to do it. One is to use rejection as fuel, kind of like what Jack Ma did. Like, I got rejected 10 times by Harvard. One day I'm gonna go teach there, right? One day I'm gonna go speak there. To use that as fuel, it's like, you turn me down, I'm gonna show you. I'm gonna beat it. I'm gonna come back and be the teacher there, right? You turn me down for this deal, I'm gonna go get a deal 10 times as big. Right? So that's one. You can use rejection as fuel to help you go off and do something bigger and motivation to, I'm gonna prove them wrong. The second way is just to forget about it. Just get used to it. That's more what I do. I don't really use rejection as fuel. It doesn't really bother me when somebody turns me down or when a new series doesn't work. I was trying to think when I was preparing for this video, what's a recent rejection that I have? Because there's been so many, but none really stick out as being super memorable. The one that I came up with was, I tried a new series on the weekend a while ago about the best of Kickstarter. And it was a new series that I was testing of showing different Kickstarter ideas that I thought might be helpful for you. And that video didn't do as well as I would have liked, didn't do as well as other videos, and we're probably gonna kill that series. But that's okay, like, I've killed tons of series. It happens all the time on the channel, and I couldn't even tell you all the series that I've killed because they didn't perform. You guys rejected them. It's okay, I just moved past it. And so, either one, you have two strategies to go for. Use the rejection as fuel to say, I'm gonna show you how wrong you are and prove it to them, or just forget about it, get used to it, it's gonna happen, it's just part of the game, and you move on and just think about the next thing that you can go off and build. Use either one of those strategies, but don't get stuck in the rejection. Fear is normal. It's part of what makes you human. You would not be human, or you'd have some crazy condition if you never felt fear. I think the people who say don't be afraid aren't giving you practical advice. It's be afraid, feel the fear, and then step into it and do it anyway. And the more you get used to taking on those fearful projects that you're scared of, the stronger you'll get, the more resistance you'll get, the higher tolerance you'll get to do bigger, better, bolder, badder things. I think the trick though is spotting the fear. Here's what I think happens to most people. There's some opportunity that comes along. There's some moment that comes along, whether it's with a client or meeting somebody or an event, something comes along that you're afraid of. You're afraid of doing it. It's gonna stretch you beyond what you've ever done before. And then what you do is you rationalize saying no. I don't have the money to go to that event. I'm too busy to go and do that thing right now. You find the reason why you can't go and do it. You rationalize it, but really deep down, the reason is you're just afraid. And until you spot the fear, until you understand that it's really just the fear, then you're never gonna solve the problem. So step one is understanding when there is fear. Step two is then stepping into it and doing it anyway. And a lot of this stuff is just so subconscious. We as human beings are kind of trained to, when we're afraid something's gonna go wrong, and to be safe. And so it's trying to catch that subconscious action and proactively change it. So as an example for me, when I was starting my YouTube channel, my agent would tell me, you have to go out and do videos in public. I want you to go out on the street and make a video in public. My natural reaction was fear, but I didn't catch it. Initially it was, the gear won't be as good in public, I can't control the light settings, I'm gonna be bouncing around with the camera, it's not gonna be a great experience for the people watching. Why would I do that? I'm rationalizing a reason why I don't have to do it, where really I'm just afraid, right? You could solve all those problems. And he told me, stop being afraid and just go out and do it. He cut through it and let me see my own fear. And so I did it. And when I first went out and filmed in public, I took out, it was my phone or my camera, I don't remember, and I'm walking on the street, and then the postman is there. And so as soon as I see the postman, I quiet down. I can put the camera away, just walking normally. And then when the postman leaves, I'm back to filming. And that time I noticed, I'm doing it because I'm afraid. And I got pissed. Okay, next time, I gotta speak up. Next time, I gotta do better. And so I went out and forced myself to go and do it again. And I was walking past and there were these construction workers. And instantly again, the panic sets in, people are watching, the construction workers. I know they don't really even care about me and what I'm saying, what's happening on the street. But I forced myself through it. It was awkward, it wasn't great. I think I had to redo it again anyway, but I took the step. I got better at it. I recognized the fear and I jumped into it. And now it's to the point where I'll make videos walking down the hall, I'll make videos when I'm at Disneyland, Disney World, I'll make videos in the streets of anywhere. And there's still a moment, even now, after how many videos I've done, there's still a moment of who's watching. I think it's natural and normal. It's not as strong as it used to be. And more importantly, it doesn't limit me from doing the thing that I want to do. And so spotting the fear and not rationalizing it away and not just doing what your subconscious always does that keeps you down where you are is so important. Being truthful that the reason why you said no or you're not taking this opportunity is just because you're afraid. And the answer to saying no should never be because I'm afraid. You want to rejig your system. So whenever that's the answer, because I'm afraid to do it, now you have to do it.
Most entrepreneurs aren't patient enough. Most entrepreneurs end up losing their business. They end up shutting down because they think it's gonna happen in a couple months or even 6 months or a year, and really it's gonna take them 4 years, 5 years before they hit their mark. They don't have enough patience, they don't allow enough time for momentum to build up, and they quit. And they end up going back to a crappy job that they hate. And maybe never ever take a shot at getting entrepreneurship because they feel it's not for them. Where really, they missed out. You missed out on your destiny. You missed out on creating something amazing because you just didn't have enough patience. Now, I believe in patience in the macro. I believe in patience and knowing it's gonna take a long time. I also think impatience can serve you greatly. But that's in the micro, that's in the daily. The impatience of, did I do my best today? Did I do my best today? Can I do better? Can I drive more? Can I drive harder? And knowing that even if I give my best every single day, it's still gonna take time. It's still gonna take a number of years for something to happen. I want it to happen as soon as possible. I'm gonna drive and be impatient as crazy to get it going, but I know it's gonna take time too. It's embracing both. That's when you start to win. I look at my YouTube, my Instagram, my social media strategy. YouTube, 7,000 subscribers 4 years ago, 1.2 million subscribers now. 4 years by making videos every day,
And I'm impatient as anything because I want it to be amazing. I want to make every video better than the last, and looking for all the hacks and SEO and thumbnail strategies and title strategies and all of the stuff that we're supposed to do, right? I'm on top of it. And I know that it's going to take me 4 years to get there. I know it's going to take me a while to get to my next 2 million, 5 million, 10 million. I look at Instagram. Follow me on my Instagram journey. I'm starting from nothing. You can see how to build it up from zero. I had 8,000 followers. Many of you already have more followers than I do on Instagram. But I'm gonna win, I'm gonna pass people, I'm gonna get mine because I'm gonna make daily, consistent content 3 to 4 times a day for 4 years. I'm gonna be impatient as anything, and that the post today has to be amazing, has to be something that I wanna show my grandkids, right? That's the intent every time I create anything. I want my grandkids to watch this video. I want my grandkids to watch the next Instagram thing that I put up. It's the best that I can come up with in the moment. And I know it's gonna take me 4 years, maybe 3 years, maybe 2 years, but it's not gonna take me 2 months. I realize it's gonna take working hard and working smart together, always.
If you are not happy in life, it's because you're not serving enough. I believe that humans are good. 99.999% of humans are good. There's a tiny little fraction of a percent of people who enjoy giving harm and hurting others because they have some chemical imbalance. But apart from that, people are good and we are connected to each other. Your highest purpose in life will come from helping others. But the next question becomes, how? How do I do it? How do I find my higher purpose? How do I know what I'm supposed to do? How do I get direction? I'm gonna give you the 3-step process that I call the purpose planner that will give you the clarity that you're looking for. I break it down into your who, your why, and your how. Let's start with the who. Your who is your one word, most important core value. Everybody has a core value. If you're a human being, you have a core value that you believe in more than anything else. And when you understand who you are, when you understand your single most important core value, then you're less likely to be swayed by other people. You're less likely to live somebody else's version of your life because they have clarity and you don't. When you do not have clarity, you end up chasing everybody else's clarity. You end up doing their version because they have certainty and you have no idea what you're doing. It's like you're walking on quicksand and you're constantly sinking and you know that there's something greater for you. Your one word, your most important core value is the rock that you stand on when the rest of the world is crumbling around you. So for me, it's believe. My one word is believe. That's what I stand on. If you love believe, you're gonna be a huge fan of this channel because I talk about it in some form in every video. Every video should ooze believe. If you hate believe, you're probably gone by now. You hate my channel and that's okay. Go do your thing somewhere else. You need to figure out your who. You need to figure out what your one word, most important core value is. That becomes the lens through which you see your entire world and attracts the goodness into your life. Step number 2 is your why. Why do you do what you do? Now, I'm a big believer that your purpose comes from your pain. That whatever your most painful moment was in life, whatever you struggled with the most growing up in life, whatever moment in life you felt the most worthless as a human being, your highest purpose, your greatest joy and satisfaction will come from helping people who are currently feeling the way that you felt, who are currently facing that situation that you were in, that you hated. The thing that you would never wish upon anybody else in the world, lots of people are going through that thing. And if you can step in and help those people, that's gonna be so filling up your soul, I can't even explain it to you. For me, my one word is believe, that's my who. My why is I struggled so much as an entrepreneur. I hated my life. I was struggling. I was making $300 a month. I felt worthless as a human. I felt like I was bringing no value to the world. And that was massively frustrating. I felt alone and I didn't know what to do. That's why I love helping entrepreneurs. I love believing in entrepreneurs. Why entrepreneurs? It could be anybody. I could believe in anybody. Believe is at the core of who I am. It's my one word, most important core value, but I could be believing in anybody and I do and I love it. But entrepreneurs hold that special spot for me. And the startup entrepreneurs, not the ones who are already making tons of money, I love them too, but I resonate so much more with the startup entrepreneurs because I remember what it's like eating at McDonald's and only being able to afford French fries instead of an entire meal. So your why, your purpose comes from your pain. Figure out what that most painful moment was for you. And it's hard because entrepreneurs, we like looking and being optimistic and looking forward and being positive, but it's in that pain that your answer actually is. Find out what that most painful moment was. Your why, your highest purpose will come from helping people who are currently facing that right now. And then step 3 is the how. So how are you going to do it? There's a lot of ways that you can help people who are in that situation. So for me, break it down. The who is my one word, is believe. The why is helping entrepreneurs. Purpose comes from my pain. Now, how do I help entrepreneurs? How do I believe in entrepreneurs? There's a ton of ways that I could be believing in entrepreneurs. So the example I use is if you are moving your office and you need my help to rent a moving truck and to help you carry your desks and all of that stuff. I love the end result of it. I love that now you have this great office where you can build a business and have it flourish. And I'll probably say yes to helping you do that, especially if you're a close friend. But I don't love the process of moving. I don't love the process of packing up boxes. I don't love the process of setting up cables and wires and putting together an office. I don't love that process. I love the result because I'm believing in entrepreneurs, but I don't love the process. And so if you write down, you make a list of all the things that you do, the activities that you have done, that you've enjoyed the result. Make a list of 10 to 15 times you've helped somebody with that same pain that you had growing up. You've helped them and you enjoyed the end result. And then circle the ones where you enjoyed the process as well. Because when you can enjoy the process and you enjoy the end result, it's a home run. Now you've found your higher purpose. Now you have clarity. Now you have a plan. That's the point of the purpose planner. Step 1, you figure out your who, your one word, most important core value. Step 2, you figure out your why. Your purpose comes from your pain, the thing that you never want anybody to ever have to experience again because it was so painful for you. And then step 3 is the how, the process. You need to love the process.
Successful people don't make excuses. Successful people don't complain. If you look at whoever you want to look up to, look at the most successful people in the world in any industry, look at the top and look at how much they complain. They don't complain. When you complain, when you blame something else, when it's the government's fault or interest rates' fault or the bad economy's fault or your partner who screwed you over or the customers who don't care, as long as you can blame somebody else, right? The education system, your parents, your friends, your upbringing, there's always somebody else to blame. And when you blame somebody else, when you're in that mindset, then you never grow. You're making things easy on yourself. It allows you to coast. It allows you to play life super safe because it's not your fault that you're not more successful. Of course, it's not your fault. That would be difficult. That would be hard. It's somebody else's fault. So you can just stay where you are because people are holding you back from accomplishing the thing that you want to accomplish. Where successful people take responsibility for where they are in life. And they say, I don't care about the government. I don't care who's president. I don't care about regulations that you have or things that you're holding me back on. I will still go out and get mine. And of course, there are other factors. Of course, the country you come from matters. Of course, the education you had and the connections you had growing up. Of course, it matters. But so what? You have to play the hand that you were dealt. You have these cards. You have to play those cards and you can have success. One of the things I love looking at, and this is why I do all these profiles, is successful, famous entrepreneurs. There is always somebody who has done way more than you have done with way fewer resources than you already have. So no matter what terrible situation that you have, and I'm empathetic. Maybe you come from a broken home. Maybe you have a really severe disability that's physically holding you back from doing some of the things you want to do. You know, maybe there's a lot of pressure on you. Maybe you have some disease. Maybe you have zero money in your bank account. These are real pressures, and I'm empathetic to that. But so what? The longer you believe that those things are gonna hold you where you are, then they will. There are people who have worse conditions, less money, are in worse situations, and they came out of it and accomplished amazing things because they believed that they could. And if somebody looks like you has gone on and accomplished big things, then you can too. And it only happens when you accept responsibility for where you are in life. Life isn't fair. The family you're born into, the country you're born into, your religion, your skin color, your gender, there's a lot of very real things that exist in this world, a lot of very real prejudices that hold people back. Life isn't fair. And chances are you might not have the capital or the education or the resources or the parents or the family or the connections or the right skin color or the right gender, any of these things. You might not have it all lined up for you perfectly. And so the next step is then, what do you respond to? So yes, you're right. And then what? Are you going to be like what most people do, is they just complain? They complain that life isn't fair. They complain that they don't have the right circumstances, and then they become a victim of those circumstances? Or are you going to take the more difficult path, the one of taking personal responsibility, personal accountability, and choosing excellence. And saying, I'm gonna break free of this mold. I'm gonna break free of the circumstances that were placed above me. I'm gonna set my own path. I'm gonna make the world better for myself and the people around me. I'm gonna choose excellence. If you look at the people that you love, the people you look up to, the people that I've profiled on this channel, whoever your heroes are, your role models, the people who you aspire to be, chances are they came from nothing. Chances are they had tons of odds stacked against them and they chose excellence, and that's why they won. Look at Michelle Obama. Her father was an employee at a city water plant. Her mother was a secretary, and then once she had kids was a stay-at-home mom. So Michelle Obama is the daughter of a city water plant employee and secretary turned stay-at-home mom. And chances are, again, whoever you look up to, they have a similar story. It's very, very, very rare, and I've covered lots of these people. I may have covered more than anybody online. I've covered lots of successful people. It's very, very, very rare that the son or daughter of a great person goes on to do great things themselves. It's very rare that the kids of people who've done amazing things go on to do amazing things themselves. It's very rare. It doesn't happen that often. And you might think, that sounds crazy. These kids of super successful people have everything lined up for them. Have the money, the education, the resources, all the time in the world, everything handed to them on silver platter. It's so easy for them to win. And that's why they don't win. Because you win through the struggle. Because you win by overcoming the odds. Because that's how you develop excellence. By going after the difficult things. The people who have an easy life never win. The people who have a hard life and overcome and choose excellence and drive daily and refuse to be a victim of their circumstances, those are the people who ultimately win. And so if that's you right now, if you feel like the world is unfair, first of all, you're right. And second, there's a bunch of things that are stacked against you, then I would highly, highly, highly encourage you to surround yourself with the stories of people who have made it. With the stories of people who look like you, who have the same background as you, who have the same circumstances as you, who made it. Because if they could make it, then you can too. And most of the people that I profiled, most of the people who've done videos on this channel, look at their stories, chances are they came from a worse upbringing than what you have right now. They had less than what you have right now when they started. And one of my favorite stories is Oprah Winfrey, and she was so poor growing up. You know, she grew up without parents. She grew up being abused by her family. She grew up with her grandmother who had no money and put together dresses made out of potato bags. Can you imagine going to school in a potato bag that was sewn into a dress? Like how the ridicule would be from your classmates at school wearing a potato bag as a dress to school. Can you imagine that? And look what Oprah went on to do. Are you gonna tell me that you have a worse upbringing than what Oprah had? Or any of your heroes? Spend the time. Don't look at how Michelle Obama or Oprah Winfrey or any of these people make an extra $1 million right now. Spend the time to look at their backstory. Spend the time to understand where they came from and when they chose excellence and how it had a massive difference and change of trajectory of their life. Because if they could do it, you can too. You just have to decide that one, life isn't fair and that's okay. And two, I'm gonna choose excellence. I'm gonna stop being a victim of my circumstances and I decide to make things better for myself, for my community, and for the people around me.
You have the power to control your world, how you think, how you act, your mindset with the words that you speak. When you use weak language, you signal to yourself that you are weak. You signal to yourself that your goals aren't important. You signal to yourself that you are not worth it. You lose respect for yourself, and the people around you don't respect you either. We need to stop using weak language and pay attention to the words that you're speaking to others and to yourself. Now, this is not an easy task because most of the words that you're using, the way that you talk to others and to yourself, you're on autopilot, you're on cruise control. It just happens. You've been doing this for years or decades. And so switching it is not going to happen overnight. But if you pay attention to the next 3 things that I'm going to share with you, it can have a dramatic impact on your self-confidence, on the goals that you have for yourself, and on the outcomes you create for yourself in the world. Let's do it. Number 1, I can't, I'm not, I don't. What you say after those three things shapes your identity. It speaks to how you think and speak about yourself. So I can't be an entrepreneur. I can't be a leader. I can't be a YouTuber. I can't. Especially this one. When you say I can't, pay very, 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 very close attention to what follows and try to shift it from I can't to either I choose not to or I can't yet. I'm not a good salesperson. I'm not funny. I'm not the kind of person who follows through. Again, pay close attention and try to shift it to not yet. I don't program. I don't know how to make money. I don't think like that. Switch I don't to I don't yet. I can't, I'm not, I don't. Those statements are final. Those statements don't allow for growth. Those statements are how you feel about yourself and don't allow for the stretch. They don't allow you to get better. And so either eliminate them from your vocabulary or change them to yet. Number 2 is catch your cruise control. The way that you have been speaking about yourself, the way that you have been talking to yourself has been happening using the same words for years, maybe even decades. It's so automatic for you. You are on cruise control. You are on autopilot. You think small and talk negatively about yourself without even thinking about it. You need to catch your cruise control. And listen, don't be too hard on yourself. This is so ingrained. These patterns have been around for so long. You are just auto defaulting to cruise control that most of these times you will not even catch it. You will not catch 99% of these moments, of these words, of these languages that you're using for yourself. But if you have the awareness, if you have the intention, if you have the desire, every now and then you will catch it. Another quick hack is to enlist a friend, enlist the people around you, your wife, your husband, your team, your kids especially. My son Hayden loves calling me out on things. Enlist their help. Tell them, this is where I want to play a bigger game. This is where I'm frustrated with myself. This is where I keep talking badly about myself and putting myself down. These are the words, the language that need to change. And every time you hear me talking this way, I need you to bring it to my awareness and let me know, because I want to catch my cruise control. For me personally, it's around complaining. Anytime I complain, I want my wife, I want my team, I want my son, I want the people around me to say, Evan, you are complaining. Right there, that was a complaint. Eat it, right? I'm happy for them to hug me with it, to yell at me with it. I just want them to let me know. Now, when I told everybody, they said, listen, you barely complain. You're like the least complaining person that we know. Awesome, thank you, I'm humbled, but I still complain, and I probably complain a lot, and a lot of the times I'm missing it. And so please, 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 even if you think I'm great at it, if you catch me complaining, I want you to call me out on it. So enlisting your friends can be really helpful because you will likely not catch most of them yourself, but it's imperative that you start working on catching your cruise control. Step number 3 is manual override. You have caught your cruise control. You have found the autopilot. It's about to happen again. This negative talk that you're about to speak out into the world about yourself or your ideas, you putting yourself down, is about to come out again or has just come out. What do you do about it? Because this is really important. If you catch yourself playing small or talking negatively about yourself, if you catch it and you don't do anything, it actually makes it worse. It's better that you don't even catch it at all. If you catch it and you recognize I am playing small right now, and you ignore it and you don't change your behavior, you are building that identity for yourself that you are somebody who is playing small. You are consciously building that identity for yourself, and you need to stop it. It makes it worse. Where when you do catch it, when you find yourself falling into those patterns, those behaviors that you don't want anymore, whether you find it yourself or somebody's calling you out on it, what do? You need to kick your manual override into action and take the action that you want, because that starts building the positive habit. That starts building the positive respect. This is how you build respect for yourself. This is how you start building the muscle. This isn't just a zero-sum game. This isn't just we go back to neutral. When you catch it, you either go sliding down or you go propelling up. The choice is yours. When you catch yourself playing small, when you catch yourself coming off of cruise control, you have to do the thing that builds the self-respect up and speak positively about yourself and do the thing that you are scared to do.
If you want to watch another top 10 rules of Evan Carmichael, check out the video next to me. I think you're going to enjoy it. I will see you there. Continue to believe.
Lean in on service. That I'm here to serve, I'm here to help, I'm trying to do something of good. What's the intention behind this thing you're about to do? If you're gonna go on stage or you're gonna make a video